Hey everyone, it's Friday, May 6th, 2022, and that means it's time for another episode of Live with Virginia NORML. I'm J.M. Padini, the Development Director for the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and the Executive Director of the State Chapter of Virginia NORML. As always, we are going to talk all things cannabis in the Commonwealth and answer your burning questions live. Hey Scott, great to see you. Hey Sherry. Hi Joshua. Happy Friday, everyone. Hope you have nicer weather wherever you are in the Commonwealth than we do here in Richmond. Hello, Ryan. Happy afternoon. Happy Friday to you as well. Hey, Fred. A happy rainy Friday indeed. All right, everyone. I am happy that we're all together. I'm looking forward to your questions. So drop those in the chat right now so we can answer them. Yeah. That's nice. That's nice, Ryan, with the Happy Mother's Day greetings to all the mothers celebrating this weekend. Kimberly, I appreciate your comment, but I'm not going to read it out loud. Happy Friday, Elizabeth. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Candace. Yeah, tornado watch here as well, or at least close by. Hey, Brian. Scott. Scott wants to know what we think about the pop-ups going on locally. Like, what about them? Like, are they legal? No. Do you know what you're buying? No. That's what I think. Speaking of unregulated products, Scott, let's go ahead and talk about the continued conversation regarding regulation. There's an article that came out this week. I know it ran in Roanoke.com. Virginia policymakers ponder the future of cannabis regulation. They sure are pondering it. And listen, so there is a special session that was convened by Governor Youngkin, and the special session is specific to the budget. Now, the governor, his administration, namely, had put down, you all may recall, some amendments to Senator Hanger's Senate Bill 591. And the amendments that they sent down were in the nature of a substitute. So it was a totally new bill. It was a hot pile of garbage. And really, in addition to attempting to criminalize consumers at penalties that were more punitive than what we had prior to decriminalization taking effect in 2020. In addition to that, it didn't really address these unregulated products or synthetic products that consumers don't really know what they're getting. And at NORML, we believe that consumers' rights should come first. Yeah, I get that for people making money off the backs of consumers, that's not necessarily an opinion they want to hear, but that's what we do here at NORML. So, Robert, you're hilarious. So this steaming hot pile of trash that came down as a substitute was, essentially killed. It was killed through a procedural motion that referred the bill to committee, and the committee is not ever going to hear that bill. Now, what could happen next? There are two ways that this issue could continue before 2023. And if it does, it's going to do so in a very narrow fashion. It could happen by the governor sending down another bill, which if he does, wouldn't expect it to be much more different than the hot pile of substitute garbage that was served up on veto session. We've heard some thoughts that perhaps the reason why that hot pile of trash failed was because it had those penalties in it. And yeah, that's one reason why It's not the only reason. So, changing those penalties doesn't fix the rest of that, um, garbage lip service that was served up. So sure, the governor could send down another bill. We'll see what happens. If he does, it will be heard in the Senate, in the Rehabilitation and Social Services Committee. It will be heard by the full committee. And then it would just be an up or down vote, a yes or no. It wouldn't be able to be amended. It's just an up or down vote as to whether or not it goes from that committee to the full Senate for a vote. Now, the other option is for language to be added to the budget. It would certainly be much narrower if that were to happen. The legislature says that they don't like the policy of legislating through the budget, of enacting code, policies through the budget. But certainly that happens sometimes. So what might happen in a bill like that would be providing direction and or funding to state agencies that are already tasked with or could be tasked with the governance of these issues. So if it came from the budget, through the budget, it would be narrower and likely not focused, let's say, on legislating THC content. Whereas if it comes from a bill, it could be more specific, but it's also probably not going to be good because whomever is drafting that certainly isn't talking to policy experts. Anyhow, let's see. Hey, Marcy, I see your question, and I'm definitely going to get to that. Oh, hey, let's just all give Ashley in South Carolina our condolences. Look, we'll keep fighting the good fight there as well. Make sure you connect with South Carolina NORML. They're great people. In particular, my good friend Scott. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Tom. Robert's got good jokes. Robert, thanks, buddy. Marcy, asks if I can go over the concentrates, what's legal, what's not. Yes. So Marcy, we only have two definitions for marijuana things, cannabis things in Virginia right now. We have marijuana, and then we have medical cannabis. And so in medical cannabis, I guess technically we have two in that. We have cannabis oil, which is medical cannabis, and we have botanical cannabis, which is medical cannabis flower. So those are those two products that exist way over there in a different section of code, 54.1. Then we've got marijuana, which is 4.1. And marijuana includes everything. It would include an edible, it would include an oil or any other, not flower product. Okay. So what's legal? All of it. All of it's legal up to 1 ounce. Doesn't matter what form it's in, it's up to 1 ounce. Then when you get over 1 ounce and up to 1 pound, if you have it in any public place or on his person, you're subject to no more than a $25 civil penalty for the first offense. So thanks for asking, Marcy. I hope that answered all of your questions. Let me know if I didn't. Hey, Anne Marie. Anne Marie says North Carolina won't make it legal either. Too much money to be paid right now. Yeah, look, I can't wait to see what the next southern state is going to be to get on this legalization highway. Ellie, I'm so glad that you have Friday off and can join us. Joshua asks, what are they, people selling tents or something? He's asking about pop-ups. Sometimes, yes, my friend, sometimes. Uh, Great, Marcy. I'm glad I answered your question. Hi, Kelly in Wisconsin. Good to see you. Hey, Pauline. You just want soft chews with THC. If you have a written certification from a registered practitioner and you register as a patient, then yes, you absolutely can get what we generally call soft chews at Virginia's medical cannabis dispensaries. You can find all of this information on the Virginia NORML website, including licensed practitioners with whom you can schedule a telehealth appointment to get your written certification, as well as instructions on how to go through the state registration process. That's going to change wildly on July 1st. You're welcome. And where the dispensaries are. And remember, if something calls itself a dispensary, it probably isn't. There are a very limited number of dispensaries in Virginia. And if you want to know which dispensaries are real and licensed, that means they're subject to really, really strict regulatory oversight that prioritizes consumer safety. Then you can go to vanormal.org/dispensaries and see all of them. Let's talk about how the law is changing on July 1st for medical cannabis. So beginning July 1st, patients will not have to register with the state. Once you get your written certification from the registered practitioner, on July 1, you'll be able to go straight to the dispensary. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you're going to do that, if you're like, hey, I'm getting my written certification in July 1, I'm going to the dispensary, please pre-register with the dispensary. You can do that online. You can do it before you get your certificate or after you get your certificate, but please pre-register with any of the dispensaries you plan to shop at, because they're really anticipating a lot of customers, and as soon as the law changes. And so to alleviate your wait time at the dispensary, please go ahead and register in advance. You can find links to all of that on the Virginia NORML website. Okay. Kelly, you need legal assistance. Oh, that's right. You're in Wisconsin. Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it. But listen, you all have to vote. And this goes for wherever you are, North Carolina, South Carolina, Wisconsin, literally anywhere in the country. And I'm looking at you, Virginia, as well. If you elect people that don't support the policies that you want, then it's a lot harder to get them. So while everyone in Virginia is, sitting there with their arms crossed and super mad that we don't have retail access for adults 21 and older outside the medical program, it's because of the election. Elections have consequences, and this is one of them. You all have elected people that don't care about cannabis legalization or regulation. So I don't know that we're going to even be able to do anything in 2023. We're going to try really hard. We're going to have super tailored policy approaches for Democrats, for Republicans, for House, for Senate. That doesn't mean they're going to agree at the end of the day. So, hey, Jennifer Bowser. Yeah. Say, hey, you keep an eye out on for tornadoes for me too. Okay, friend. Yeah, Scott, I think that it is entirely problematic that patient participation in the medical program has been so limited because of the ridiculous hoops the state has established for them to jump through. Fortunately, those hoops are going away on July 1, so we'll have a much, much, much higher patient population in Virginia. That's good news because that will help bring prices down. Thank you, Ronson. Oh, Pauline knows what's up. We'll just leave that for a minute. Hey, Jennifer. Jennifer asks, is retail access with a certificate and not a card now or July 1st? It's kind of both. All right, so you have to be a registered patient right now. That doesn't mean you have to have a physical card, but you do have to have the number from the Board of Pharmacy that you get via email when you register. So if you have your written certification now, you would still have to register if you wanted to shop prior to July 1. May, June, July. If you're registering now, definitely ask for a card so at least you're getting something for your money. But on July 1st, you won't need a card, just the written certification from a registered practitioner. Pauline, the legislature rarely agrees on anything, particularly when it's a divided legislature. Dennis says their Virginia medical card expires June 31st. There you go. So all you have to do, Dennis, is make sure that your written certification is up to date. So that will be valid until it's not. And it's valid for 1 year from the date that it's issued unless the practitioner indicates otherwise on the form. Now, the form that you all received last time you got your written certification is going to change as well. Now, it's not to say that that's going to change on July 1, but it will change at some time in the future. The form that everyone's using right now, that was originally created by the Supreme Court of Virginia when this was an affirmative defense law. It's not anymore. So it does not belong in the Supreme Court of Virginia. It belongs under, for the time being, the Department of Health Professions, where the Board of Pharmacy is. So there will be a new form. We have asked that new form look beefier and more official, because right now it looks like something that someone made in Word, because it is. We've asked that the new form just look fancier so that it's easier for patients seeking reciprocity. Now, if you know you're traveling, the best advice we can offer is get a physical card. Go through the registration process in Virginia and get a physical card, not just your written certification, but get the physical card as well. And know that right now it takes 60 days to get that card. So plan ahead. If you're traveling somewhere this summer or ever, and you're hoping to get reciprocity. Hey, Scott. Scott says, I asked a delegate that was at one of the pop-ups. A delegate at a pop-up. That's fun. How they are getting away with it, and they said the cops don't know what to do about it. That's correct. Yeah, that's accurate. The local law enforcement doesn't really know what to do with these things, which is weird because thousands of new laws take effect every year. And so why in particular they can't read these laws, I don't know. But yeah, enforcement is different from municipality to municipality. It's different amongst Virginians as well, whether you're young, old, black, white, rich, poor, where you live, where you are, what you're doing, who you're with. So. Oh, hey, Aaron. Aaron says some folks don't want to get certified for medical because of fears for getting concealed weapons permit revoked. Could I touch on that? Yes, I can. Look, people clearly smoke weed and own guns right now. And people are wondering if they have that written certification, if someone knows. No. That's not, the only way anyone knows if you are a medical patient or if you use marijuana legally or illegally, is how you answer the question on the background check form. That's it. It's a medical document. It's not accessible by anyone who is not able to access your healthcare records. But we are talking about. I did have a conversation with a legislator this week about a bill. Some states have passed legislation to protect the Second Amendment rights of medical cannabis patients in their states. So hopefully we can do that in Virginia in 23. Thanks, Pauline. That's a very kind of you to say. Happy Friday, Della. Hey, Rebecca in Florida. I hope you have reached out to NORML of Florida. There are a few other chapters in the state as well. There's Suncoast NORML, which is over by Tampa. There's Tallahassee NORML. Definitely reach out to those folks. They may be able to connect you with some compassionate care resources in your state. Heather, Heather wants to know, instead of Virginia, why don't I work on Kentucky's medical marijuana bills? Well, because you can see, I'm sure, right up there, it says live with Virginia NORML. So that's why we're talking about Virginia, Heather. But my good friend Lauren is the executive director of Kentucky NORML. She's a delightful person. And if you have not connected with Lauren yet, please do. You can reach her directly at info@kynormal.org. You're welcome, Aaron. And Heather, generally every Friday, my colleague James, NORML's state policies manager, she's also the executive director of Texas NORML, does a show before this one where she goes over all of the other states as well. So if you missed that today, I think Morgan, our policy director at NORML, who does federal policy, but I think that he filled in for Jax in today's show while she's enjoying some relaxation time. So feel free to go back and catch up on that video, also on YouTube, where you're watching from. Florida is easy, says Pauline. I'm from Florida. That's funny. Hey, Michael, I want to see your question here. Michael says, you read an article that donations from cannabis manufacturers to Virginia politicians are about 4-to-1 Democrat Republican. And then Michael asks, will this create an incentive for one party to block legalization? That's not the incentive they're looking for. So, Michael, I'm going to say this. I read the same article that you did, and the article is so poorly written. It's just got so many factual inaccuracies. And it's unfortunate when articles like that get syndicated. This continues to be a problem in Virginia. So at Virginia Commonwealth University, there's a journalism school, which is great, but their students write for what's called Capital News Service, and they have a poor track record for accuracy. We've spoken directly, a number of my colleagues have spoken directly with those who run this program and have asked that they try to be more mindful about accuracy, because then good folks like Michael read it and they're like, what the hell's this? And we're like, yeah, it's not really true. So if you were to go back and look at that article, Michael, you would see, and to that point, just go to vpap.org and you can look up donations yourself. It's important to think about who is making the donations and where they are. So if you were looking at Virginia medical cannabis companies and where they're making donations, their donations are likely going to be heaviest for the electeds that are in their health service area. So if you're wondering why one particular medical cannabis provider donated heavily to Democrats, it's probably because that's who the electeds are in their health service area. So anyhow, hope that helps, Michael. Hey, Larry, good to see you. Larry, Nebraska does not have an active NORML chapter. And Larry, we'd love to help you help us change that. You can shoot us an email at chapters@norml.org. That will go straight to me and Cassidy, and one of us will respond, probably Cassidy, with directions on how to get started. It's pretty straightforward. Cassidy will guide you through the entire process. Basically, Larry, what you need to know is you and 3 other people need to be members of NORML for this year. And if you're members, then you can apply to lead a chapter in your area. Now, remember, your board, which should presumably in the beginning is just going to be the 4 of you, no more than 50% of your board can be made up of people who have a stake in the cannabis industry. Why? Because NORML represents responsible consumers and fights for their rights and their protections. Lots of business associations out there to do the work for companies. I don't know what this question is, Jennifer Bowser, but I want to answer it. I think you might be asking if your registration is protected by HIPAA, and the answer is yes, because it's a medical record. Thank you, Larry. All right, friends. Last week, I asked you if you wanted us to put the socks in the web store, in the NORML Facebook store, and we did. And we have very few pairs left now, but we do have a few pairs of the socks, the NORML socks. These socks legalize marijuana in the Virginia NORML Facebook shop. So pop in there and snag those before they are sold out. These are the crew socks, and we do have ankle socks. I haven't put those in the shop yet, but I think next week I'll put the ankle socks in there. Since it's rapidly approaching summertime, they don't have cute labels like this, but they do have leaves on them. No, Ryan, they are not made of hemp. These are made of cotton and polyester. They're 80% cotton, 20% polyester. Kind of sad that I know that. But yeah, there's 6 pairs of assorted colors in our Facebook shop right now, and we will we'll order more and get some more in the shop soon as well. I want to tell you all about an event here in Richmond. I can't believe it's a week away. Gosh, I feel like we've been waiting for this date for so long, and then now I look and they're like, oh, it's next week. Okay, so next week, Weeding Out the Stoned is coming to Richmond. Super excited to be hosting them at the CSC Richmond Theater here in, well, you guessed it, Richmond. The tickets are available online for pre-sale right now. If you're going to come to Weeding Out the Stoned, by the way, it's hilarious. I definitely recommend getting your tickets in advance so that before they sell out. There's limited seating in the theater. Tickets are only $20, and we'll be there with some NORML stuff as well. The show is super, super hilarious, and this will be the first time that Weeding Out the Stoned has been in Virginia since legalization. So Alex, who produces the show, is super excited to come back. He's a great guy, such a huge supporter of NORML. His show is absolutely hilarious. The whole thing is improvised, and you don't want to miss this. So definitely get your tickets to Weeding Out the Stoned Friday, May 13th at 8 p.m. at the CSC Richmond Theater. Pauline, yes, Pauline, I can see that Cassidy just dropped the link to the Weeding Out the Stones event in the chat. It's also pinned to our Facebook page, and it's on the events tab on the NORML Facebook page, on the Virginia NORML Facebook page as well. And for the shop, I think you go to facebook.com/VA NORML/shop. Just go to the Virginia NORML Facebook page and click on the shop tab. It's right there. You're welcome, Pauline. Oh, friends, this has been delightful. We don't have a timeline yet on the budget, but I think things are starting to wrap up. So once we know if there's a bill coming from the governor or if there's language going in via the budget and when those things might happen, we will let you know, and we'll let you know what we think about it. You can bet on that. Friends, I hope everyone stays safe in the Richmond area with all the tornado watches in effect right now. I hope everyone has a delightful holiday weekend if you're celebrating Mother's Day, and I hope you have a not dreary, rainy weekend, regardless, unless you love rain, and honestly, I kind of do. So it's free water, right? All right, everyone, have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here next Friday. Yeah, next Friday. I'll see you back here, and hopefully I'll see you at Weeding Out the Stone next week as well. Everyone, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next week.